is America's coolest conservative and the future king of talk radio. 107.9 FM WBT presents The TJ Ritchie Show.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Bump that up a little bit, Lonnie, right? Yeah. We got to get in the groove a little bit. My goal every night in this first segment, the very beginning of the show, is to get Breaking Brett Jensen bobbing and weaving to the beat in his car on the way home to get into some bourbon or whatever it is he does in his lavish lifestyle that he leads. Oh man, we got a lot of stuff going on, and I did most of my show preparation today early. I wanted to get in, get it, and then when you know, things start breaking like crazy, and now everything that I prepared earlier in the day is probably old news. Old news. I got some personal problems, ladies and gentlemen. I found out something today that at this point I am protecting my wife from this news because I know it's going to devastate her. And I've just been procrastinating, filling her in on the terrible thing that has happened. And I know she's going to have a lot of women with her in the sisterhood that are upset by this news as well. You know, when you love somebody so much and you know something's going to hurt them, and you just don't want to tell them, but you feel like you have to because you do care about them and you want them to hear it from you. That's what this situation is, and I've cowardice avoided telling her all day, and then I bring it to you first. And well, guys, when I tell you this, you know that your women's are probably going to be upset by it as well. But alas, I must break the news. Handsome, sexy man, actor John Stamos is a liberal sissy man. Now, I know you assume that he's a liberal because he's in show business, he's in Hollywood, but he has put it out there, wearing it like a badge now. You see, yesterday he posted on his Instagram an image of a handwritten note, and it laid out all of the feelings of the left-wing agitator-induced unrest in Minneapolis. Uncle Jesse from Full House, the handsome John Stamos that women of all ages swoon over. He said, quote, "I usually stay out of politics, except for endorsing Kamala Harris for president, I added that part. But this doesn't feel like that," he writes. "What I'm seeing from ICE feels cruel. I don't need it explained away or reframed. I trust my own eyes. When people are treated like threats instead of human beings, when fear is the tactic, something is broken. Stay in your lane, actor, doesn't apply when basic humanity is the lane. This is all of our lane." Huh? "I'm tired of the hypocrisy too. The speed of the cycle has erased shame. Harm happens, outrage flashes, then we move like nothing stuck. But it sticks. It doesn't feel right. And staying quiet feels worse. Lately, it feels like the bad guys are winning. Maybe the least we can do is not look away. And scene. Thank you. Thank you, John Stamos, for sharing. Thank you, John Stamos, for sharing that brave written word with us. We enjoyed your prose so much. And what a wonderful touch to personalize it by writing it in your own hand, signing it JS, taking a photograph of it, then posting it to social media to take away all that impersonal tech process. Handwritten means more. When I read this handwritten post that was photographed and put onto your social media, I think John Stamos is writing that to me. He signed JS to me. Well, you know, I was getting to the point where things were starting to not make sense to me either. But now it is as clear as the light of day. John Stamos, Uncle Jesse, says that ICE is the bad guys. And by God, it must be true. Because no man who is that handsome, that gorgeous, would ever be wrong on such a thing. So sexy. What a Greek god he is. Oh, I could get lost in those thick eyebrows of his. A man with those eyebrows and that bone structure could never, ever be wrong. And he's right. Basic humanity is the lane. And this is all our lane. John Stamos, ladies and gentlemen. Changing the world. With the stroke of a pen and a digital picture and a post on social media that he probably doesn't know how to do himself, and that's why he wrote the note in his hand and had some lackey or one of his grandchildren post it on his social media for him. But nonetheless, the message is well received, JS. The message is well received. I must take a break, ladies and gentlemen. I must gather myself. I must get control of my emotions and the stirrings I have right now at this wonderful performance by JS, John Stamos. UJ, Uncle Jesse. God bless you, Uncle Jesse, and God bless the USA. More next. Hey, it's the TJ Ritchie Show. I am your host, TJ the Realist Ritchie, Charlotte's FM News Talk, 107.9 WBT. Would love to hear from you tonight. Oh, gosh, would I love to hear from you. 704-570-1079 is the phone number, and you can also text that. Thanks to Liberty Buick GMC. Sorry, driven by, because they're cars, driven by. You get that connection there? Driven by Liberty Buick GMC. Okay. So, here we are. Once again, here we are. Where are we? Well, the Democrats have done what they do. They have encouraged the law to be broken. They have allowed millions upon millions of illegal aliens, a lot of whom are violent, disgusting, trashy murderers, rapists, child molesters. They've allowed them free will into our country, settling in, hiding in our cities, and they call them sanctuary cities. Oh, doesn't that sound so sweet? Sanctuary cities, sanctuary states. All of which is against the law, all of which is a blatant disregard for the citizens of each city and each state and the United States. So they do what they do. Doing what they pose to do is what the Democrats have done. They're vile, they're trashy, and they're violent. They're narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. The Democrat leadership, the organizers, quote unquote. So, as soon as they lose an election and somebody comes in who does respect the law of the land and who does care about American citizens who are innocent, trying to live their lives and prosper the best they can, and tries to clean up the mess, the illegal mess that the Democrats have put us in, then they call in the troops of progressive Marxist militia, to create violence and to create riots and to create unrest. And they push and they push and they push until the good guys, and make no mistake about it, the good guys are law enforcement, not just law enforcement, the federal law enforcement in these so-called sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. Until they feel threatened and have to push back with deadly force, and then all hell breaks loose. The Democrat theater then really kicks into high gear. And they start acting. Oh, the moaning and wailing and gnashing of teeth. Defund this, fire this person. This is not America. They are tearing families apart. They are disappearing our neighbors. This neighbor, that neighbor, they're just our neighbors. They're our neighbors. They're neighbors. Who is that? That's not an illegal alien. That's our neighbor. And Trump putting that evil, wicked witch, Kristi Noem out here. You know why they really hate Kristi Noem the most? Is because the women in the Democrat leadership and even behind the scenes, the professional Democrat women are jealous of her because she's hot. And not a damn one of them is. Because liberal, communist, it all boils down to the fact they're women. And that's what they think about first. The fact that Kristi Noem's butt would make them a Sunday face any day of the week. None of those ugly liberal women can hold a candle to her in the way that she looks. That's why they hate Melania. And you know how you can tell? They loved Hillary. And they loved Michelle. Hate Melania. Why? Because she's the pretty girl. Oh, look at me. I'm the little pretty girl. And you ugly liberal women can't hang. You're disgusting. So they push and they push and they cry and they turn on their bad acting. It's like a high school play. And it's just like, oh my God. And instead of our side, the good guys, just doubling down and saying, hey, we have the law to enforce. Hit them big. You Democrats are lawless pieces of crap. All you want is power. You don't care about these people, these illegal aliens. You don't care about these protesters, and you celebrate, you high-five each other every time somebody gets killed in one of these skirmishes. Because then you have more of an issue to gain power. You're sick, twisted sociopaths. No, instead of our side doing that, you start to hear these little trickles of news. Oh, several Republicans now are saying we need to investigate a new path after the shooting of Prete, or whatever his name was. A guy who purposefully showed up many occasions to impede law enforcement and did have a gun with extra bullets, extra ammo. But Republicans, they're starting to call for a reevaluation of the process. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. And that's why we are in the position that we are in today. Because there are, even though it doesn't take very many, but there are too many Republicans who are big, cowardly wusses who don't really want to clean up the mess. So I guess that would mean that they're not really putting America first either, are they? They don't have the gall to do it. They don't have the guts to do it. If you're a Republican lawmaker and you're hearing me and you're upset right now, I don't care. As the great Charlie Kirk said, prove me wrong. Going back to a kinder, gentler brand of conservatism, is that it? Yeah, that worked so well for George Herbert Walker Bush, didn't it? Because the Democrats are kinder and gentler, aren't they? You see, they can do whatever they want to do. And it comes down to the fact that Democrats do not care what people think about them. They don't have any shame. They know they're evil, and they don't care that people know it. Why? Because they're psychopaths and they're sociopaths. Psychosociopaths, we'll call them. They have no shame. They do not possess the ability to care what anybody thinks about them or anybody else's well-being. Oh, but the Republicans. Oh, if we just act like let's just be more open to negotiation. Let's meet them halfway. How do you meet somebody halfway whose goal it is to destroy the country? How do you meet a communist halfway in the United States of America? I've always wondered that. So I'm thinking, if your representative or senator is one of these Republicans that's looking for a different path now, we need to reevaluate. We need to do it differently. We need to calm down. We need to step back. We need to, you need to call them. Tell them, hey, this is why we wanted Trump. Number one issue, other than transing the kids, number one issue that we voted for Trump for. He's doing it, and now you're getting weak-kneed. Now you're getting squeamish because you're letting the Democrats control you again. I'm telling you, if this is the direction it goes, then we don't have a hope of this country ever getting back to what it's supposed to be. It's gone. If our Republicans that we have put into office to uphold the law and the Constitution, if they cave, if they create pressure, if they strike a deal with the Democrats on this issue about anything, we're done. We're done. They might as well go ahead and get some hammer and sickle logos put on their vehicles as Republicans. All right, I'm running late here, so I got to take a break. More coming up. .9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. It's the TJ Ritchie Show. I am the green-eyed patriot, TJ Ritchie. What is it about health care employees? What makes so many of them not just leftist lunatics, but just makes them vile like they are? What makes them feel like they're so tough and they have to spew their stupid thoughts? They're supposed to be intelligent people, right? I mean, you have to go to school to do these jobs that they're doing, to be nurses and like the labor and delivery nurse that was the demon of the day the other night that ended up getting excrement canned after she went on social media showing how disgusting she is. Libs of TikTok just posted this about 30 minutes ago. It says, anytime if you look at the Libs of TikTok account on social media, anytime she puts meat and then says somebody's name, it means, oh, look at this idiot who has just exposed him or herself to be a nut job. Meet Michael Moncure, a registered nurse at Atrium Health in North Carolina. It doesn't say what town in North Carolina. Then it shows a post that he has made, allegedly. I think the ones who put Alex in harm's way were ICE. All those agents better pray they never end up in a hospital. The nurses won't be kind. Really? And we have so many of those. Like there's a woman that just posted all kinds of videos talking about, like, it was like a daily update of what you can do to ICE agents, like how to poison them and how to spray them with stuff in water guns that will harm them. You see, these people are supposed to be intelligent. That's not very smart. And this guy looks like a dweeb. Again, I say allegedly this, that, and the other, because I don't know exactly what he's posted and all. This is supposedly a screen cap of what he's reposted. Libs of TikTok is usually pretty reliable, though. The Libs of TikTok account, you know what she does that the Marxists find so disturbing? She takes posts that lunatic leftists put on their social media and reposts them and says, look at this. That's what she does. That's how she started. And they can't handle that. So yeah, this guy looks like a dweeb. Is it that they think that they are so special, like they're chosen people because they work in the medical industry and they help, or they are there to help people in their most vulnerable state, and they just get drunk with that power? Is that what it is? Because we hear about every day there's another so-called medical professional who's involved in these stupid riots and these stupid social media posts where they out themselves as being crazy and hateful and deranged. I'm not saying for sure this man is deranged. Again, I said allegedly and all that. But I do say he looks like a dweeb. I don't have to say allegedly with that because he does. He looks like a nerd, dweeb, and also looks like in this picture he needs to cut his fingernails. Hygiene, Michael. Hygiene. It's just so ridiculous. So I'm guessing, because I am America's #1 societal profiler, and I think it is that they just it's like what the kids call a flex. It's like, I am so powerful because I get to determine whether someone lives or dies, or whether someone is in pain or they're not. I am so powerful. So when they have these thoughts, they have to put it out there, because when they get on social media and they start spewing all this stuff, they're just saying, oh, look what I said. I'm such a bee. You know, those types of women who think it's cool to be a B word. It's like, I am such a, and then they say it. It's not cool. But I also suspect that a lot of these people were not paid enough attention to, or didn't get the right type of attention, so they're constantly thirsting for approval and for someone to notice them. So now they've got a degree, and they have this power, they think, to be able to make somebody's life better or worse. And so they abuse that power by going on and acting like they're not going to treat somebody they disagree with, or they're going to harm somebody who comes in to their hospital or their clinic or wherever that they disagree with. And they post that out there, and they think it makes people think they're so cool. Oh, it's so cool. No, you're a dweeb. You're an attention-starved nerd dweeb who needs to cut your fingernails. In the case of this guy. Well, I don't know whether he is those things. He looks like those things. Let me go back. I don't want to falsely accuse him of something. To me, he looks like a nerd dweeb, and he does need to cut his fingernail. It's just gross. Men with long fingernails, gross. Even long-ish fingernails on a man, gross. You're not getting that kind of political analysis from any of the professionals, I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. But you see, that's the best of both worlds for me. I just gave you a full psychological profile of these healthcare employees, these leftist healthcare employees, and a physical description, and throwing in some hygiene tips for them as well. See, so I can criticize and advise at the same time. That's right. Okay. What are we doing next? I don't know. It depends on what breaks next. I'm just sitting here watching the news. It's just one thing right after the other. Boom, boom, boom. So I guess we'll find out together what's coming up next. Hang on.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Just going crazy. 107.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. Crank it, Lonnie. Crank it, baby. That's right. That's what you get here. The street knowledge. 107.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. America's coolest conservative. You damn right. You damn right. Hey, whoops. hold on. I'm trying to send an email to the staff with a late breaking soundbite, as they call it in the business. So, Lonnie, Andy, I just sent a soundbite to you for to put on the radio. There's no subject line in it, so I don't want you to get lost. I mean, I know it's hard to decipher if you get an email from me and the subject line is not filled out, and I'm actually saying that I'm sending you an audio clip. I know y'all are a little iffy with that, and then also how FM radio works.
It's sticky. The sound is more thicker.
Yeah, it is. It's stereo. It's got a lot of bottom end. That's what we call it. Bottom end. But I always laugh when I hear that promo with that lady. I wasn't sure how this FM thing was going to work. I know what she meant, but I just picture somebody going, oh, well, no, wait. Where is FM? What? How does, so you push this button and what? Oh. But you know what? I feel like the expert in the building now, because I'm the only one that really has thrived on FM radio. The rest of them are a bunch of old coots. Now I know that Pete Callender used to do some stuff on FM radio, but he couldn't take the heat, so he got out of it and got back on the AM. But no, I'm an FM warrior. Okay, listen. I'm going to play for you the funniest audio clip of the day, in my opinion. The funniest audio clip on the air anywhere today. Now, most people would hear this and think, oh, that woman is crazy. It's sickening. Just sickening. But I hear it and I laugh uproariously at this silly, silly woman. She seems to be a woman of small stature, big, giant, goofy-looking white-framed glasses, a silly hat, a point collar shirt, and the point of the collar comes down way past, a giant collar, way down past her collarbone, like a legitimate clown costume. And she is threatening all of us, ladies and gentlemen. She is coming after us. Make no mistake about it.
I'm furious. I'm so mad I can't even think straight. My entire life today is just centered around how fucking angry I am. And every MAGA, I want to punch you in the fucking face. I want to beat you up until you are a pulp on the ground. I want to curb stomp the shit out of you. If you voted for Donald Trump, come tell me in the comments. I'm going to find where you fucking live. I'm going to beat up your whole fucking family. If you have a 5-year-old kid, I'm going to pick them off too. I fucking hate you guys. You're choosing violence. You're choosing war instead of peace on American streets, and you destroyed the fucking country because you're so fucking racist. I hate every fucking one of you.
Settle down, princess. Settle down. There. She's coming after us, ladies and gentlemen. All you MAGAs, she's coming after. She's going to curb stomp us. Ooh. Well, she won't get me because I'm too scared to go outside now. I am not messing with her. Oh, God, these people are so deranged. And then, that's what makes it even worse, that these Republicans are ready to cave. Oh, my God. You say, we're not ready to cave. We just want a different path. That's caving. You can't give these tantrum-throwing brats 1 inch. Don't get a new path to anything. double the path that you are on, triple the path. If they are not going to help ICE in these quote unquote sanctuary cities, send in the military. Invoke the Insurrection Act. Let them know they cannot get anything they want by throwing these tantrums. I mean, why would you give them an inch? But you think because you're going to lose an election in the midterms because of this? Please. Because any Republican right now that is saying we need a different path, this is not going the way it should be going, this is too much, it's da-da-da-da-da. You are either crooked with the Democrats or you're cowardly. And you don't really care about putting the country first and the citizens first. That's it. Those are the two choices. Those are the two choices. Because I don't know about y'all, but I would freak out with anger and shame if this psycho that we just played on the radio looked back and said, I had any type of influence on a victory for my side. It would be a disgrace. You can't give these psychos an inch. You hear me? They are out to destroy the United States of America and our sovereignty, as well as our liberty. And you want to meet them halfway? Give me a break. What are you, insane? Are you daft? Were you that scared growing up? Were you that afraid that somebody was going to, somebody just bullied you, or if somebody just threw a fit or tantrum, you just gave them their way? Is that how you raised your kids? Because that's what these Democrats act like. They act like a bunch of violent brats. And the stuff that the Democrat Party leaders have done to incite this violence, and yet you want to go and meet them halfway or compromise with them in the least? You can't compromise with these crazy communists that run the Democrat Party and their militia. You have to defeat them. I don't think anybody wants you compromising with Democrats, because they're beyond compromise. This is not the Democrat Party that used to be able to compromise with Republicans. These are anti-American communist psychos. And you think you're going to gain favor by saying, oh, let's meet them halfway. Let's negotiate. Well, let's find a new path forward. Oh, you sicken me. Absolutely sicken me. Not that you care what I think or any other Republicans and conservatives that have supported you. No, you don't care what we think. You don't care what the American citizen thinks. All you care about is what the people say who have been hired and whipped into a frenzy. Those are the people you care about. If you're looking to go soft now, then you might as well just go join them. You might as well get out there and protest yourself. Republicans, conservatives, get out of here, please. Turn in your badge if that's what you're going to do. Turn in your conservative badge. Go to the dark side. Hang on, we got more coming up.
He's America's coolest conservative and the future king of talk radio. 107.9 FM WBT presents The TJ Ritchie Show.
1, 2, 3, go.
Ramming, jamming, slamming on the air everywhere. Ooh. America's coolest conservative. That's right. That's right. Unapologetic, in your face conservatism. I brings it how I brings it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I do. I do what I do. 704-570-1079 is the phone number. Call, text. Text driven by Liberty Buick GMC. Man. Today was the first time I ventured out of my house since Friday. You know, I have the studio in my home that is, how you say, who is it? It's basically a big vault. So, nobody, including my wife, can get into me while I'm creating. You know, the genius that is my creative spirit cannot be disturbed. So I haven't been out of the house since Friday, becoming a shut-in, actually. But I went out today and walked out and almost, was very, very close to busting my ice in the driveway. Yeah, my driveway is shaded. And so it hasn't melted anything yet. And it didn't even melt enough the other day for me to, shovel it off. Cause, well, first of all, I don't have a snow shovel. I'm too southern for that. But it wouldn't have done any good anyway. I wouldn't have been able to move that ice unless I had a jackhammer. But anyway, yeah, I came close to it today. Ice almost took me out today. Me. The biggest cheerleader for ice. Almost took me out. Oh. Okay, so you think that all of this wokeness is over? You think we defeated that? Put them into submission whenever Trump was elected so soundly. Well, you can't ever count out Marxist policies and things like that. And he said, well, okay, well, that's just in the big liberal cities. Well, I got news for you. Charlotte is a big liberal city. Hello. But even in Alabama, now I've lived in Alabama. I lived in Alabama for about 3.5 years. Loved it. And Alabama is conservative. But even Alabama is susceptible to liberalism. Let's see. This is a college in Mobile. Some people pronounce it mobile, but they're wrong. It's Mobile. And let me tell you what they're doing. A Planned Parenthood affiliated group hosted a, quote, sex toy bingo, end quote, night at the University of South Alabama, where they gave out free sex devices to students. Conservative students showed up to ask participants if they thought the event was appropriate, causing leftists to heckle them because they were, guess what they were, and it was so wrong. Straight, white, Christian males. So this is what the taxpayer-funded universities are pushing on the students. And if you object, it's because of your straightness and your whiteness. You see, this is another thing that should have been battled years ago, because this is the Marxist playbook. infiltrate the minds of young people. I mean, that's why, in the government schools, these Marxist teachers unions and all, they don't want the parents having any say over any of the stuff that goes on. They even wanted to start calling your child by a different name, and you're not even knowing about it, keeping it from you. So my son goes to school every day, and I'm calling him Tommy. But when he gets to school, he starts acting like a girl, and they call him Tamika. And they don't tell me about it. Why do you think that is, ladies and gentlemen? Because the government schools want to indoctrinate your children at a young age. And they have been doing it, and been doing I guess you'd say, a good job of it. But that's why I say there needs to be live cameras in every classroom in America of a government school, where parents can look in at any time and see what their kids are being taught, what's going on in the class. And if anybody protests, go, well, what are you trying to hide? Why would you not want a parent being able to see what goes on in their child's life? Or, I don't have kids in school anymore. My kids are grown. But I'd still peek in on people's classrooms. Why? Because that's my money. That's my money going to these people, these classes. And so the same argument of, where you say, well, why am I still paying taxes that go to schools when my kids aren't in school? Well, it's because of you want an educated society. It's the betterment of society. So your tax dollars are actually paying for people to be educated and be productive members of society. So you don't have a say where your taxes go. Okay. Well, then put a camera and give me the code where I can check in on what's going on in my classroom every day. I want to see what the people who are being taught, the young minds, what they're being taught that's going to make them, how they're going to be in society when they get to be adults. If my tax dollars go to that, if money is confiscated from me for that purpose, then obviously I have a stake in it. Now, I'm speaking as a child of a public school teacher, a government school teacher. My mom is a retired teacher, and so I'm not coming from an aspect of I just think all teachers are bad. Not at all. I think if you show up dressed like a slob, wearing pajamas and septum rings, and your hair is all crazy and you look filthy, then you're a bad teacher. Because that means you don't care about yourself. So how are you going to care about kids? Oh, I done said it now, haven't I? Oh, I said that, didn't I? Ooh. That's right. If you are slovenly, dirty looking, you don't put any effort into how you dress or how you look. As a matter of fact, you put effort into trying to look the most hideous you can with your crazy purple hair or green hair and your septum ring and all the other crap that you wear to be a teacher, then you cannot possibly be a good teacher, because you don't care about the kids, because obviously you don't care about yourself. You don't care how you present yourself to the world. So why do you care how children present themselves to the world? You're not preparing them the right way. That's for sure. Ooh. Now, if you take offense to that, because you are one of these slovenly, don't care how you look teachers, then you need to reevaluate. If what I said is offensive to you, then yes, you need to reevaluate. I'm not saying you have to be beautiful or handsome, but I'm saying you need to put your best foot forward. to be a teacher and be an example for young people. And your best foot forward is not orange hair, a septum ring, and tattoos on your neck and on your face, looking like you're on some stage of parole. So I hope I've helped you people. That's what I'm here for. We are going to do the Demon of the Day Award and some late breaking things that you're going to want to hear, and I haven't even heard them in their entirety yet. So I got to do that during the break, and then we'll do the Demon of the Day Award, and we got to get to all of this stuff in a hurry because time is running out. Tick tock, running out. Hang on, more coming up. Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WBT. It's the TJ Ritchie Show. I'm your host, TJ Ritchie. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. What are we doing here? What are we doing? There was something that I had planned to do here. Oh, maybe it's this.
It's time for the Demon of the Day.
Yes. Wicked. Yes. We don't call them demon-crats for nothing, ladies and gentlemen. The Demon of the Day Award for today, I'm going to be earnest with you. This was a late breaking switch of the Demon of the Day because I already had one picked out, and then I found this clip of a late breaking story here. I'm breaking TJ Ritchie. That's what I am. So our Demon of the Day is none other than the District Attorney of Philadelphia, lock 'em up Larry Krasner. Lock 'em up Larry. Oh, he's a tough guy. Yes, he is. He is tough. You all should know. Everybody in ICE needs to know how tough Lock 'em Up Larry is. Ladies and gentlemen, our Demon of the Day.
It's a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identities. We will find you. We will achieve justice.
So, this clown, Lock 'em Up Larry, is threatening federal agents who are enforcing the law. Instead of, I'm the one that gave him the name Lock 'em Up Larry because of that joke of a chief of police they have, or sheriff, or whatever she is. The one that looks like Ursula the Sea Witch from Little Mermaid. She said, and Larry's going to lock him up. So I started calling him Lock 'em Up Larry, but it needs to be Lock You Up Larry. Lock you up Larry, because he needs to be locked up. Going to hunt them down. ICE agents going to hunt them down and lock them up. I got a better idea, Larry. Why don't you just pick one ICE agent off the street? Just walk out onto the street where there are ICE agents, go to their hotel room, wherever you can find ICE agents, and you close your eyes, or you don't even have to close your eyes. Just get your pick. Just pick one of them and have him step out mano a mano on your blowhard act. Let's see if you're really tough, Larry. Pick any ICE agent. Pick the smallest one, the biggest one, a medium-sized one. Pick any ICE agent and get up in their face and say, you and me, gloves off, let's go. Let's go, Nazi. I dare you, Larry. I dare you. You're not so tough. You're a clown of a little man. And if you were man enough to do that and stick to it, you know you would get pounded into the dirt. You're another nerd that likes to go out and talk tough because you know you got security. You know nobody's going to challenge you, and you won't have to face a challenge physically with any of these people you go around threatening to ruin or threatening to kill because you're evil. You would get stomped into the ground, and you know it. Just like you probably got stomped into the ground when you were growing up every day on the playground. Oh, but you're getting revenge now, aren't you, Larry? Now, I don't know whether he's one of these George Soros prosecutors or not. I know he's evil, and I know he's the demon of the day on the world-famous TJ Ritchie show. Now, I know there are a lot of transplants from Philadelphia in Charlotte. Get Larry on the phone. Tell him I said so. Give him my idea. Just get one off-duty ICE agent right after they've done a 12-hour shift and they're tired. Yeah, do that. Go pick one of them. Call him a Nazi and say, gloves off. My security's going to stay away. Just you and me in the street right here. See what he does. Let me see something here. Let me do some juggling on Larry. Larry his name Kastner. I want to see really what he's a Krasner. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. It's live radio. Krasner height. Height is not publicly disclosed. Not that that matters. You know, I'm short myself, but I don't go around talking tough to people that I know can beat the crap out of me either. Which, by the way, I don't think there are many people who can. What is this guy's deal? He's all full of himself. You can tell that. Yeah. He looks like a weak little man. But you know, the devil disguises himself in many, many ways. I don't know. He could be mobbed up in Philadelphia. I don't know. I've seen that in movies. But whether he's mobbed up or not, he's not going to challenge an ICE agent to his face. Are you, little Larry? Little Larry, you're so cute. You're so sweet. Silly boy. Silly, silly boy. But you see how they act, ladies and gentlemen. You see how they just have absolutely no scruples. They will lie and call people Nazis, threaten to lock them up, threaten to hunt them down. And you know what he's doing? He's sending messages to everybody else. Keep hunting them down. All of you lunatics, all you brainwashed drones out here that are marching to the Marxist beat that we're giving you, go hunt these people down because they're Nazis. You go do the dirty work for me. Go hunt them down. That's what he's saying. They talk about conservatives and white people always having dog whistles. That's not even a dog whistle. He's blatantly sending a message to all of those weak-minded lunatics that are out there protesting, all those crazy white liberals. Go hunt down these ICE agents and get killed if you have to, because that's going to further our movement. It's going to give us more power if you get killed. So off you go. Get busy getting killed in the name of justice. These Nazis. Okay, so we have another guy who's talking all tough. Talking tough about physically going after a very important person in our country. And it's laughable. Absolutely laughable. So we'll laugh at him coming up next. Hang on. .9 WBT Charlotte's FM News Talk. I am the future king of talk radio, TJ Ritchie, and this is the TJ Ritchie Show. I gotta tell you though, if that king of talk radio title doesn't come soon, I'm gonna be in a new career. I got to have it happening. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, I'm running out of time here, ladies and gentlemen. I got to be the king very, very soon. And then I know that kind of sounds like a gospel song, doesn't it? It's soon and very soon we are going to see the king. I don't mean it that way. I'm just saying, look, I got to get on it. I got to get on it. All right. Quickly, I have to ask Lonnie Ray a question. So, Lonnie, this clip that you just sent,
Yeah.
is the edited one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. This is Tim Walz, Governor Tim Walz, talking about his disdain for J.D. Vance, the vice president, and what he wishes he could do to J.D. Vance. Listen, now this is the governor of a big state in the United States. He's also, as you know, a sassy, sissy, pretend to be a masculine man kind of guy. So listen to what he says about J.D. Vance.
That was from 2021, has Ellison meeting in this recording with a group of people.
Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, never mind. It was the, I don't know. We'll talk about it in the break and get it fixed. Now I feel foolish. I said the whole big setup, insulting Tim Walz, and then boom, it wasn't there. Oh, but you know what? That's on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you do on the fly. That's what happens. Just trying to be up to date. All right. No big deal. No big deal. Renee has sent an email that says, a text that I've got her vote. Like if I want to be running for something, she said, I've got her vote. That's good. Thank you. But then somebody did a little bit of research and says that Larry, the DA, in Philadelphia talking all that crap, is a Soros-backed prosecutor, meaning he's been elected to tear down America. Yeah, that was Renee. She said that. He is Soros-backed. So that's what happens. When you want lawlessness, you get these Marxists in office that control who goes to jail and who doesn't. And then they wreak havoc on society in order to destroy it. Now, we do have this other clip of a mayor in West Chicago. I didn't even know that was a separate city, that West Chicago was a separate city than regular Chicago. But this guy's name is Daniel Bovee. And from the looks of it, his name should be Daniel Bovine. Now, I wouldn't be saying that if he weren't repulsive as a person. I wouldn't be insulting the way he looks. because I'm not all the way there yet either with my weight loss goals. But still, he's despicable. And there was a teacher in his school system there in West Chicago who posted a supportive post on social media about ICE, and then she was suspended for it. And this lily-livered, feminine mayor is explaining why she was suspended for it. Not apologizing for suspending her, but explaining why she got what she deserved. Listen.
You know that this week there was an incident where an employee at one of our schools in District 33 made a social media post cheering on the activities of ICE. And it was extremely hurtful and offensive to many people in our community. And let me just, first of all, explain why that is so hurtful and offensive. Because some people have asked, don't teachers have First Amendment rights? Can't they have political opinions? And yes, of course they can. Teachers can have political opinions. They can express their political opinions in appropriate ways. What makes this different is this. This school district, the school where this happened, we have multiple students who have lost their mom or dad in the last few months in these ICE raids. We have students who go home fearful every night, wondering if their mom or dad is going to be there. We have kids having panic attacks at school. Our kids watch the news. They see people who are shot and killed. People are punched or kicked, and tear gas is sprayed. And this is the reality that they're living in right now. And so then they're wondering, is this what's happening to my parent who's been taken away?
So a teacher posts a pro-ICE thing on her social media. She gets suspended, and he's saying these are the reasons why. Because they've lost all sight of who the good guys are here. They are law enforcement officers. And the reason that there are these violent encounters with people is because of Democrat politicians and the media. You don't see that in these other cities where the law enforcement agencies are assisting ICE in keeping that stuff under control. In other words, where these other cities have legitimate leaders in their law enforcement agencies and not fake cops, crooked cops, corrupt cops, like that chief of police, Brian O'Hara in Minneapolis, that dirty cop. They have real law enforcement officers in charge in these other agencies when none of that's going on. That's what it all comes down to. But how dare that teacher put something positive about law enforcement agents on her social media? She had to be suspended, reprimanded, dealt with, if you will. And then this other guy, I don't know if you saw him. He's from Arizona. He is the executive committee treasurer for Arizona Legislative District 12. And he's out causing trouble with ICE agents. And these two, if they were older than teenagers, then they were barely in their 20s. They were taking pictures with ICE agents. And he runs up on them and starts cussing them up and down and calling them blanking, worst word you can call a person, especially a woman. He calls these young women that for taking pictures with ICE agents. What a man, huh? His name's Mark Holodnak. Mark Holodnak. Look him up. Because in the clip, after he's called these girls that and cussed them out, raging at them, raving at them. Some man walks up and starts challenging him. Why are you saying that to these girls? Say that to me. No, come talk to me. And he starts running, scared, like a little beer. He's a beer. This is real tough, right? Got an older guy out there cussing young women, calling them these vile names. Because why? Because he's obviously a little emotional beer himself, can't control his emotions. And then as soon as a man steps up, he takes off running. He couldn't get out of there fast enough. And the guy didn't even threaten him. He just said, come talk to me. No, why are you yelling that at these girls? Don't do that. You come talk to me. You got something to say? Say it to me. Whew, he was gone. Pranced up out of there. Looking like a fool. He a fool for that one, y'all. Ugh. They're just so disgusting, these professional Democrats. They're just vile. Vile, crooked, corrupt cult leaders. Now, I don't think he's at a level to be a cult leader. I think he's just a cult member. But he's not brainwashed enough to stand there and try to act that way to a man. But little 20-year-old girls, sure. He's tough then. Clown. All right, so we'll get the Tim Walz clip ironed out. I apologize for that, to build you up for nothing, but it is worth it. So we'll get that taken care of and throw that on for you coming up next. Hang on. It's the TJ Ritchie Show. I'm TJ Ritchie, your ever-loving leader. Unapologetic, in-your-face conservatism delivered by Mr. Old, White, and Gifted, the Green-Eyed Patriot. Okay. So here it is. It is the clip of Tim Walz that I've been overselling, possibly, talking about our vice president, J.D. Vance, and what he thinks of J.D. Vance and what he would like to do to him. Listen.
Be out of him now, if I could, and I would call that out. I mean, that's just different. In verbally going at it, my argument is much better. Making the case that housing prices are up because of immigration and that we should build on federal lands. It was such a crazy thing. But then when I watched him, I got sucked into that. And if you remember, this was right in that moment of eating dogs and cats. I took that bait and thought that was the argument of how outrageous it was. That was not the argument.
And he said that your cops are liars. He said that the ICE agents aren't.
They all did. That's exactly right. That this is the problem with them. And well, the president said it, that we told them to stand down. Do you think they would do that? Do you think that police would not protect citizens, no matter if I'm like, oh, don't do this? Yes. Well, this is the whole paradox with these guys. They don't back the blue. They don't back police. January 6th proved that. Fanone and the rest of those guys will tell you that. They back the blue when you're with them.
So the first thing he said was, I would like to beat the blank out of him, meaning J.D. Vance. Okay, little Timmy. We believe you. Man, J.D. Vance would wear you out. Even if he weren't, a Marine. Now, I know you're a big high ranking in the National Guard or whatever, but remember, Tim Walz quit his unit when they were about to get sent into Afghanistan, I think it was, somewhere in the Middle East to fight. He quit his unit. He was the unit leader, and he quit. But J.D. Vance is from the hills. And that's what I'm saying. They talk all this tough crap and knowing that nothing's going to come of it. J.D. Vance is not going to call him out and say, all right, you and me right now, let's go. They know they're not going to do that. So it's so much easier for him. He's still trying to play the part of tough guy. You know, that's why they put him on the ticket as the vice presidential running mate of Kamala Harris, because he was going to bring the gravitas. He's a man's man, which I always thought that meant you were gay. Doesn't make sense to call somebody, if they're masculine and rough and tumble like Bryant Gumbel, like it doesn't make sense that you would call them a man's man, because a man's man means that, you know, men are all about him. You know, ooh, he belongs to a man, that kind of thing. But I digress. Tim Walz is a fake and a phony and a sassy boy. Now, I have a clip we have to fit in here because most people would just listen to this and go, this is Sandy Cortez, a.k.a. AOC, just being herself and toting lies around. But there's more to this if you have an ear for it, and I do have an ear for it, so I'm going to explain it to you. But first, Sandy Cortez, ladies and gentlemen, listen to her.
Donald Trump accusing a Veterans Affairs ICU nurse as being a terrorist against the United States, a man who was treating service members to our country, veterans, service members to our country, who was dedicating his life to serving Americans, who in his final act on this earth was helping a woman pushed to the ground. And they are calling him a domestic terrorist in order to defend their gross abuse of power, their absolute breaching of the law, and in order to also precipitate greater conflict.
Okay. Now you hear that and you go, shut up, liar, whatever. But this proves the point that everything these professional Democrats, these Marxist communists like Sandy Cortez, everything they do is performative. Okay? That's not real. Those aren't her real thoughts. She is reciting a monologue that has been given to her, and she's performing it as a bad actress. You say, well, how do you know that, Mr. Smarty Pants? Well, I know it because I hear it. I can hear how she speaks, and she is speaking rehearsed lines, and she's bad at it. Listen to, we're going to play it again, at least the first part of it, and I want you to pay attention to how she says a instead of when she's talking. People don't talk like that. People don't say a person accused of a crime and a gun and that's the way people who are not comfortable reading aloud, that's how they read if they're reading aloud. Like I have this clip entitled Sandy Cortez being a bad theater kid. Whereas if I were reading it rehearsed as a bad actor, I would say Sandy Cortez being a bad theater kid. Okay? Think about children. When children first learn to read aloud, how they say a and the on every word other that's normally in speaking pronounced and the. Now, I also know this because I am a trained thespian. I was a theater major in college. That's right. Don't be jealous. Okay, now listen to this and tell me if you hear it or not.
Donald Trump accusing a Veterans Affairs ICU nurse as being a terrorist against the United States.
Accusing. Who says accusing when they're speaking? No damn body. That's who. For future reference, you can finish and answer that question on your own whenever I ask it in those terms, because that's what I'm always going to say. When I say, who really speaks that way? The answer is always going to be, no damn body. That's who. Okay? So it's a little game you can play along with the radio. So you hear it, you got to hear it. You got to hear that in here. Listen.
Donald Trump accusing a Veterans Affairs ICU nurse as being a terrorist against the United States. A man who was treating service members to our country, veterans, service members to our country, who was dedicating his life to serving Americans, who in his final act on this earth was helping a woman pushed to the ground. And they are calling him a domestic terrorist in order to defend their gross abuse of power, their absolute breaching of the law, and in order to also precipitate greater conflict.
Good, baby. You did such a good job. Way to go, Sandy. You did it. You did it. Word for word. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you, Sandy. Just like you rehearsed it. You see, all of that hard work paid off. You knew every line. Good, baby, good. You're getting so big. Look at you. I think you were the best one in the whole school play. What a moron. But I don't know if y'all realize I just gave you some insight that you're not going to get anywhere else. Nobody else is going to be able to do what I just did there and breaking that down as what it really is. Now, I know it's probably not your bedtime yet, but when it is your bedtime, I want you to include that thanks to the Lord in your prayers. Thank you for giving us the TJ Ritchie to analyze in such a way, to flex his theater muscles. There's a reason why there would be no one else on Sirius Talk Radio, meaning not the satellite, but SERIOUS Talk Radio, the professionals doing that kind of thing. It's not because they can't, it's just because they wouldn't, because they're professionals and they know what they're doing. But I do not, and that's the beauty of it. I don't know what I'm doing up in here, but I'm doing it nonetheless. All right, a real professional, that Nick Craig, is coming up next. He's good. God loves you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. I will talk to you tomorrow night. See you.